Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Whoop, whoop. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I have back from the final leg of the Juicy Scoop live tour. I'm here with your favorite, Chris Frangiola.
I made it.
What a weekend.
What a week. I mean, I feel like it was extra a lot.
Well, I mean, I remember booking everything and I was
Yeah.
like, wow, this weekend is going to be tough because it's 3 cities.
Right.
And I hadn't really done that. And it's East Coast, which makes it extra tired for us. But I was like, but you know what? It'll be the end. And
Yeah.
then we have Thanksgiving. So it started out, we'll walk everyone through it. We met at the airport in the afternoon.
But the day before, which made it perfect. So we landed
Right.
in Boston
Wednesday
that late
night.
Wednesday night. So I had the day.
Right.
So we'd have to like run. So that's always so nice.
Right. And the day I thought we could have a fun, more fun. We just went to that one lunch. It wasn't
Yeah.
as fun as I thought because I was still, Annie and I were still like really preparing like the show so that it was very topical and everything.
And also it was cold out, so we couldn't like do like sit outside, cute Boston, you know.
I was very cold walking
Yeah,
around.
right.
And then, so the Wilbur Theater was great. I had a cute Alice and Olivia dress on. I liked that outfit. We had a lot of fun there. And then we didn't do anything that night. We went back. We were so tired, right? Went back to our room.
Yeah.
It's all
Great
like a blur.
hotel.
Where did we even stay?
Great
We
hotel.
had stayed at the Godfrey.
Yeah, the Godfrey,
which
which
we got
was
a deal.
nice. I
That's
know.
why we posted about
Well,
it.
good. Then tell them again because it was real nice.
It was real nice. I walked in and they had my face on the 2 screens. And then whoever hooked it up.
Can I just stop you
Yes.
there? Because let's go back even before that.
Okay.
Because this is a problem I know both you and I have had a lot, and I think it plagues everybody in the world. The fastest check-in we've ever had in the history of any hotel.
Yes.
We
Why
walked in.
Why can't more hotels
I
be
don't
that quick?
know. It drives me insane. Every hotel I go to, where they're like,
Yeah.
I wanted to grab the screen and turn it around. Like, what are you looking at? Just okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where'd you fly in from? Like, we don't need to do any of this.
Yes.
Like this.
I always wonder if they've been trained to ask that. Like to start the conversation. Like,
Well, I'm gonna
here for
retrain
business
them.
or pleasure?
I'm going to retrain them.
Okay.
I'm speaking for 100% of the world. Nobody wants to chat when you've gotten off a plane, through an Uber, through whatever you've gotten
Picked
to.
up your bags,
yeah,
yeah.
to get to that point, you're at the desk of the hotel. You just want to get to the room. There's a
Yes.
many things, whether it be poo poo. I got to get to the room.
Poo-poo? What do
You know
you
what I mean? Like I got to shit.
Oh.
You know what I'm trying to make it like?
Yes,
You just want to get
yes.
to the room.
So I walk into my room, and it's a nice big room. My face is on the screens.
Yes.
They have a personalized bag that says Heather on it with like some of my favorite products. A face mask,
Yeah.
a lip for your lip mask.
Oh, I didn't get all that. I got a little. I must have got the her friend
Yeah.
bag because I got a little bag too.
Okay.
It was like a basket
Yeah.
and it had like some Cheetos and stuff in
That's
it. So
nice,
yeah, but it was
yes.
great.
Free snacks and a
Yeah.
bottle of Rumbauer. So, but then I had this other room where the conjoining room they gave me complimentary.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't want to leave that door open because I only had the key for mine. So then I
Right.
locked it and then I never used it. But whatever.
What did they think
And-
we were all gonna sleep in the same room?
I don't know because I don't know.
Some comedians do that. It's just, I often say, like at this age, if I'm at a point where I'm in bed and like I got my opening act is in a fold out bed next to me,
Oh.
it didn't work out. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Like-
Like, God. No. So we woke up in the morning, had a pretty cute lunch. And then we did the show, right? Boston, we talked about that. Did the Boston show and then didn't party or anything that night. We were burnt out.
Boston now.
Boston. And then the next day we went to the airport.
Yeah.
And that's
Late
that's
flight.
where we saw my greatest fan ever.
I mean, it was. We talked about it a little bit during the
Yeah.
lives. It's. Want me to? Well, we'll
Yeah,
break it
tell
down.
the
Let's break it
story.
down. So we're going to the American Airlines lounge. I don't have American Airlines lounge access, but Heather's like, let me check what I have and see if I can get you guys in as guests, Annie and myself. And we walk in, the two of us, and Annie doesn't have TSA pre-check. She's not with us yet, but she's going to meet us.
But she
So-
did get to come.
Yeah, she got in as well. So you go up and you say, "Oh, do you?" The woman goes, "Yes, you have 2 guests." This woman comes storming in. Now you guys know how these things work. There's like a
Right.
door that you have to go into before you get up to the lounge. I don't think the woman's even a lounge member. She just
No.
comes into the front part, which is a little bold right there.
Yeah.
I find. You know what I mean?
Right. And she's like, Heather McDonald? I'm like, yes. She goes, wow. Being a comedian, I can tell it's a hard life.
That's what she said to both of us. She goes, God, being a comedian is a hard life. So right there, I was just like, you needed
Then
to
I'm like,
come
are
in
you-
here to tell us that?
But then I was like, okay, she's obviously a juicy scooper. She's going to appreciate, like, say, like, you make my life, you make my Tuesday, Thursdays, whatever. And then she's like, but I'm smart, so I actually get your comedy.
It was amazing.
Which is like always the thing when people would come to us after a show or they can be like during a meet and greet or something. And this did not happen this vacation. I
Yeah.
mean, this tour. But in the past, when I've done like a club or whatever, and I think it's gone great. I
Right.
had fun. I'm doing a meet and greet, and people are like, I got to apologize for my city. I don't know
Oh.
why no one was laughing. And I'm like, wait, what? I thought they
know.
were
Oh my
laughing.
God,
I'm like,
that's
I had
so
a really good
funny.
time.
Yeah.
They just were not getting it. I don't know
Yeah.
if they like don't know who you are,
Yeah.
but like I thought you were funny.
Yeah. I thought you were funny. Yes, that's what this woman says.
So she says I'm smart.
I get you.
So I get you. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, great. Now I'm like, okay, we only have about 30 minutes. I want to get some free food. Let's
Right.
get going. I'm being nice. And she's like, and if you were wearing makeup, I'd ask you for a photo, but you're not, so I won't.
I mean,
And I'm like, and I had sunglasses.
you were so nice about
I'm like,
it.
well, I can put on sunglasses if you
Yeah.
want the photo. I don't even think she wanted it.
She didn't. We like made her take the photo. And then she was like, I guess you can get in it too, so I get it. And she was not into that. I think she just wanted to come and tell us being a comedian is a hard life. And then she said the makeup thing was, and then you were like so busy trying to get us in, you didn't really. And then we get at the elevator. I'm like, what a bitch that. Like I said,
No, I go, that was nice. And you're like, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
And then you brought up the 3 passive aggressive
3
thing. And I'm
cutting
like,
comments in like a minute.
and I thought that was so funny. Now listen,
Yeah.
if she is a juicy scooper, however, I don't know that she is.
No, she's
'Cause
not.
she didn't mention the podcast. But if she's
Yeah.
listening to this now, I still think you're nice and I still think you're a good person. But that is
Yeah.
what you said. And sometimes as a comedian, that's how we interpret it.
Right.
Because that's what you said.
Yeah, we interpret everything wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So just to go ahead and assume that we're going to interpret everything you say wrong and then just don't say it.
I will say some of the people we met this weekend, so nice. And when
Yeah.
like, especially when someone's like on the verge of tears or they say like, you got me through this hard time. I love hearing that. So I
Yeah.
do love hearing
Everybody-
all that.
I mean, now that I guess the tour is over, this portion of it at least, they're very fun.
I know.
The
I was
live
actually
juice
kind
scoops
of
are really fun.
after we finished, because the second show, DC, was so fun. I
Yeah.
mean, we just had our like groove in it, like
Right.
feeling great. I was like, it's like I'm weirdly relieved, but then kind of sad.
Yeah. Yeah. You know?
Okay, so then we go to so then we're in Philly, and we did go out with Bill Crane. And I did post about it, and I think that made everybody think, oh, you're definitely going to be going out in D.C.
Well,
then.
yeah. I know. Well, should we talk about? See, the other thing
Yeah, we
with
got it.
Heather,
Bill's listening.
and
yeah.
I mean, God bless Heather. This is a lot for you. These shows are a lot. You have an outfit on,
Heels.
you know, heels. Philadelphia's got the streets of Philadelphia.
Our potholes.
There's a
and-
lot going on there. Whatever you guys are doing, whatever infrastructure problems you're having, your sidewalks are fucking crooked. There's a lot of homeless people
very
screaming.
cold.
Cold. And we're
Especially-
in downtown.
And I'm like, I'm a California Valley girl, so I can't take the cold. So, but after I did my meet and greet, I hooked up with Chris and Bill Crane, who is my #1 fan. He's all of our #1
we love
fans.
Bill.
And I was like, well, we could get one drink. And they're like, let's go to the Ritz-Carlton. It's just down the street.
Now, here's where I
said, so we don't need a car. And
Yeah.
he said, no, we don't. So now we start
But
walking.
I feel responsible because I think now when you say yes, I'm coming, I'm like, oh shit, because I feel like I'm responsible for this mess that we're about to get into. Because this one I know, like, this is not going to be easy. The people are saying the Ritz-Carlton's close. Everybody says everything's close, but it's never close. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, from here on out, if we ever do, it's got to be the bar across the street.
No,
that's
even
it.
us walking to, you and I walked to we walked to the Kimmel Center from the hotel.
Yeah.
And you're like, come on, it's a 3-minute walk. And I'm like, you know what? In the heels, and I've got my bag
Right.
with my iPad. I'm like, and I go, this is where I start to not feel special. Like I
know.
sold out every show, and I'm like,
know.
I don't care if it's a 2-minute. I
Yeah.
just got to be in the car.
Yeah.
And then we didn't know where it was, so we start going to like this other Kimmel Center across the street or
Yeah.
something. And then these juicy scoopers, were like, oh, hi. And so I'm taking photos with them, and I'm like, Annie's running out or, trying to find us.
Right.
Okay, so we're trying to find the Ritz-Carlton, and we are going so many blocks.
Yeah.
So many blocks. And then he's like so apologetic.
Well, we're going, let me just say this.
Yeah.
You guys all know what a Ritz-Carlton is. We all know the Ritz-Carlton in our cities. You all know the area the Ritz-Carlton is in. We all know. We were walking down streets where, the Ritz-Carlton doesn't pop up next to the Boost Mobile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're walking, and I keep telling him, I'm like, I don't know, this doesn't look like an area where the Ritz-Carlton's going to be. And he's just like, hey.
He's like, just down here and to the left. It's just down here and to the left. And we just kept going
5
and
different
going.
times.
Finally, I'm like, all right, we got to get into a
Yeah.
cab. As we got into a cab, and he's like, you guys don't want me to come with you. I'm like, just come. Anyway, we ended up at the Sofitel. We didn't even go to the
Different-
Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah, the guy just took us to we mentioned 2 hotels.
And then Bill Crane is like, trying to save the day. And he goes right to the bar, and he's like, excuse me, do you have Rumbauer Chardonnay? And the woman, the bartender, was like,
hated us.
And she's like, no, we don't. And we're like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, what kind of Chardonnay do you have? Not that. I was like, all right. Like,
Yeah.
I just am like,
She did not
I'm
like
like, all right,
us.
whatever, give me whatever you have. So anyway, we eventually get home. We say goodbye to Bill Crane.
Well, before
Yes.
the bartender, that was the first thing she screamed
So
at.
mean.
And then I was just like, I went to lean on the bar, and there were 2 reserve signs. I never saw reserve signs on a bar, but they were like reserve signs on the
For
bar.
like a stool?
Yeah, and I
Oh.
wasn't sitting in the stool. I just leaned on the bar.
Yeah.
She goes, excuse me, sir, those are reserved. And some woman sitting at the bar knew who I was, and she jokingly goes, oh, he's Chris Frangiola. He's a superstar or something. And one goes, I don't care. Those people bought me dinner.
That's
And
what
I'm
the
like,
bartender says?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that's when I
missed
walk
that.
back over to you. I'm like, I don't know what this bartender's problem is, but I got to get out of here. Like,
I didn't even know that part of the story. I
Yeah.
just thought she was mad about someone asking for Rumbauer.
no, she
like,
screamed at me too. So I was just like, I hate this woman. I hate this place. Like, I just want to go back to my hotel.
I know. And so then we get back
Yeah.
to the hotel. Oh, and that hotel was nice, but the very, very tiny rooms. Very tiny rooms.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay, so then the next day we were smart enough to accept the ride from Juicy Scooper Alex.
The greatest.
The greatest situation, because we thought we were going to either have to fly, which would have been a huge pain in the ass,
Yeah.
or take the train. And everyone's like, the traffic is so bad, you should take the train. I'm like, I'm going to take this girl. Now, originally I was not down for having a listener drive us, but she sent you a video.
Yeah.
And
well,
she said all the right things.
yes. She had written me on Instagram,
Yeah.
and she said, listen, I'm going there anyway. I'm coming to the Philly show, and then I have to go to D.C. for a Friendsgiving. So I'm driving down. She had heard us talk about issues on the podcast.
Yeah.
She said, if you want to get in the car, no problem. She seemed normal. And then she sent a video
Yeah.
of her like, I'm going to clean out the car. There
I have
was-
2 car seats.
yeah,
They
car
won't
seats,
be
all
here.
that.
And I'm not even going to bring the car seats. So
And
I
then
got
she said the
enough-
greatest thing.
Good.
We can talk if you want, or we could be silent if you want. We don't have to sit there and talk about Lisa Rinna for 2.5 hours.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, that's good. So I sent it to you.
Yes.
And you're like, we're in.
Yeah. I said she
Get
said
the
all the right
info.
things. She's married. She's cute. She's a mom. She's a nurse.
Yeah.
She did bring up the TikTok thing. Oh, that's what I got shit for, the TikTok thing. Now, I had brought up, Chris,
The TikTok dances during COVID.
I said, I think it's kind of, I go, just remember, like, first season COVID, when these people would do all the TikTok dances. It'd be very intricate dances. Dun, 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 with that, like, cowbell sound. And they'd be, like, wearing their mask and in their scrubs. And it was, like, very intricate, like 18 people, full minute. And all I was saying about it, and if you interpreted me wrong, what I was saying was kind of like, obviously they weren't that busy to have been able to do these dances.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying they were neglecting patients to do the dances. You know, I was saying, like, you know, we were so scared and everything. And I was like, so.
It's hard to hear the people not being able to breathe behind you with Gangnam Style playing. Yeah.
So, you know, and I was like, oh my God, the attacks that I got from some really angry nurses, like, you have people, but they weren't saying we didn't do them. They were defending why they were doing them. Because they were right. They were all doing them. And they were like, Heather, you have no idea, like, how depressing it was, how sad it was. Like, we were stuck there. It was awful. Like, if we wanted to just do a little dance routine, like, why are you being such a bitch about it? I'm like, oh my God, it reminded me of, remember when Joy Behar got in so much trouble with, what was the girl? There was this other girl that was on the show that, oh God, I can't remember.
Oh, Kathy. Margaret.
No, she was brunette, and she was on Sirius Radio.
Anyway.
Michelle Collins.
Oh, Michelle Collins. Yeah.
And the two of them talked about Miss America, or Miss, yes, I think it was Miss USA, came out, or Miss America, because I had to do a talent. And this girl came out in her scrubs, and she was a nurse. And she had a stethoscope on, and then she, like, did a monologue about being a nurse or something. Yeah. And they were kind of like, well, if you're a nurse, why are you wearing a stethoscope? Which they were wrong, because nurses do wear that. They lost all these sponsors.
Whoa.
The nurses that were watching them, like, at the hospital went hardcore. I think it's one of the reasons that, my opinion, Michelle Collins wasn't asked back. Yeah. Joy Behar, they both had to, like, profusely apologize. So when I started to get a little shit I'm like, holy fuck, nurses. Like, I love a nurse. I think it's the greatest profession. A nurse practitioner, in my opinion, can do 99% of what a doctor can do. Like, I was just like, oh my God. But anyway, so she said, Alex said that, so she starts talking about it. I go, all right, I don't care, but did you also do the dances? And she said, yes, I did.
No, she said she missed like a day. She wanted to do them, but she was, remember, she was pregnant. That's right. She was pregnant, and she didn't get to do them. She was upset.
Oh, okay. But she said the reason they were doing it is, at that time, their hospitals weren't full.
Yeah.
But they were all there full time. Right. Waiting for the influx. And that's where they started doing the dance routines.
Yeah. So, I mean, also, for all the people who attack Heather and myself all the time, you have to understand that we're trying to be funny, or at least try, for 3 hours, it's a lot of material. So sometimes you'll be like, hey, the dances, isn't that funny?
Right.
Like,
and sometimes
it doesn't mean we hate nurses.
And sometimes we're going to say something, and you're going to think, as you're driving, well, I don't agree with that opinion, which is completely fine.
Right. I know.
It doesn't mean, like, you don't need that you have to stop listening to me. Tell me how long you've listened to me, and that you've liked every single episode until this day. Mm-hmm. And now it's changed forever. Yeah. It is okay. Yeah. Anyway, so we had some snacks. Oh, because I got the peanut butter from the peanut butter lady.
Oh, that's right. The peanut butter. Oh, she'll be so happy to hear you mention her.
I don't know who you are. She gave us 2 kinds of peanut butter. And I brought the peanut butter and some pretzels for the drive over.
Well, I'm not going to make myself out to be a saint here, but I want you to know that the things I deflect from you, I get so many messages during my weekends with you about people who have made things for you. Yeah. Some crap.
God, stop it.
I knitted her sweater. They show me oh, Jesus. So how do we get this to her? They'll ask me.
The peanut butter.
Yeah. So the peanut butter lady had come to me and said, how do I get this to her? Anyway, somehow she got it to you.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
There's a chocolate peanut butter, which I didn't open yet. I just had the regular peanut butter. And I was eating just that with some pretzels there. And we did talk the whole time because I can't not talk.
Well, the peanut butter lady is a mom too, and that's her peanut butter company. So we don't know it right now, but if you want to put it on Heather's Juicy Scoop page, we'd be happy to get you business to your peanut butter company.
Yes, and so
it's green though.
it was a little bit green, but it tasted delicious. I don't know why it's a little bit green.
Now, you said you were up in your hotel room eating the peanut butter because something had happened.
I didn't. Oh, because I went down for the free breakfast.
Yeah.
And there was a marathon.
Oh, that's right.
And these people were like, it was so crowded. And I'm not someone that gets claustrophobic. Like I was never a COVID scaredy cat. I was never like weird about people getting too close to me. But it was so crowded in that breakfast joint. And I took all this stuff. I took like a banana, and I had to go up to my room. And then I was just like, I didn't want any of it. I just wanted the peanut butter. Oh, I took an English muffin, so I had the peanut butter. So then I took the peanut butter on the ride there. But we did talk, and there was not much traffic at all. And what we realized is that every city we go to, people are like, oh, the traffic in Nashville.
They love to give you the bad
the
news.
Traffic in Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh, the traffic. And I'm like, nothing. Compares to
not
LA
even
traffic.
Close. It's not even close.
I'm like, I'm like, it's moving.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, what do you mean? It's moving. Like, there is no. So I didn't think it took that long. And
that's another thing you need to tell every city.
Yeah.
No matter how bad your traffic is, you have to realize it is not even close to what we deal with here.
Right.
So,
shut up. Yeah.
You don't have to tell us.
Yeah, you don't
We're
need
good.
to complain.
Yeah.
Like, And so we had a good time. We did talk some Juicy Scoop. We started to listen to a little bit of Meghan Markle's podcast.
That's
just
tough.
so I could work on the voice, which she's in my topics, so maybe we'll get to it later.
It's tough.
It's so boring. And then
it's very audio booky. She just
like
it
she's
seems like
reading.
somebody scripted it out for her and she just reads it.
She's like, well, today we're going to talk about words. Words that can be loving, words that can be humorous, words that can mean two different things, but maybe same at the same time, truthful. I don't know. I just know that as a woman,
exactly like it.
Yeah, as a woman, there's words that I've been labeled at that are not fair, and I'm going to discuss that today.
Yeah,
it is so boring.
It sounds like that sketch that Alec Baldwin used to do. Those two ladies.
Oh, that
Remember?
Those girls started that. Okay, that began at Groundlings.
Was that Anna Gasteyer?
Anna Gasteyer, and then but Anna actually came up with that with this other girl at the Groundlings, but only Anna made it to SNL.
Yeah.
But they did it based on a real radio show that they listened to on PBS.
Yeah.
That was so boring.
Right.
And so they created those two characters that were like, oh, this is great. We're going to talk about doing some really fun festive meals and some treats for the holidays. They were totally like that.
That's what Meghan Markle's thing sounds like. Yeah.
So boring. Okay. But anyway, we got there. Love you. Thank you. Right to the hotel. Okay. So now we get to this hotel in the DC hotel.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty excited when I get up to the room because it's a much larger room than the Philly room. So I'm like, cool, fine. But I'm very hungry.
Yeah.
And they had sandwiches and stuff downstairs. But I was in this DC magazine and they said, we want to offer you this a free meal tonight and I'm like, it's got to be at 5 because I have a meet and greet at 6. But the food looked so fucking good.
It
that
was.
I'm like, I'm going to starve myself because I'm going to eat all this food. But you were like, I'll just see you at the theater. I don't care about the food. And I'm like, all right. And Annie's already at the theater. So I'm like, I've got to leave here by 4:45, get to the restaurant, and eat my food and then bring it to you guys because they said they couldn't do it to go or something.
Yeah.
So I'm like, can I pick it up? And they're like, no. So I'm like, well, I'll just order a bunch of food and then ask to take it home. I don't know. So I was like, I have to get this food to you. But the air in my room had this wall unit, and this is how loud it is, you
I
guys.
couldn't believe this.
This is how loud it is. I was
that's
dying.
crazy.
So I call downstairs, and I'm like, can you please send someone up? And I play it for the girl on the phone. And she's like, yeah, we'll send an engineer up. Well, now it's like 4 o'clock. Now I'm like sweating. It's so hot. I try to open a window. I'm dying. I'm like, now I'm super cranky because I'm hungry and I'm sweating and I'm trying to get everything ready. My shit's everywhere. And I get into the elevator.
And this is your fear always, is you can't be cranky in your position because then somebody puts
So I get in the elevator and 2 Juicy Scoopers pop in. And they're so excited.
Oh, my God.
And off the bat, I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, look at my room. And I played it for them. I go, do you have this going on in your room? They're like, no. And I go, I'm just so frustrated. I'm so hot. Like, I'm totally being a James Corden right now. Like, and I felt really bad. I didn't offer them a photo or anything. And they're like so nice. And I go down to the guy and I go, hi, this is my room. He's like, nobody told me about it. I go, whatever. I go, I got to go do 2 sold out shows at the Kennedy Center and a meet and greet before.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I am not going to stay here. And I won't be charged for it. But I'm like, he's never going to know or care. So I get in the car and I get in the car. So then I go to and eat my face off at this place.
I'll say this, though, because of your recent TikToks about people knocking on your hotel room door. Now they're probably terrified to send anyone up to your hotel room.
Oh, yeah, you're so right.
Yeah.
The previous weekend, people were trying to break in.
Yeah.
Oh, but that happened there, too. This guy.
You told me, yes, I'm saying.
First, this guy knocked real quick, and I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, sorry, I thought it was empty. That happened already. And at that same place.
That's probably the guy who was there to fix the air conditioner.
Maybe he knew that it was fucked up.
Yeah.
Anyway, they never came back because they probably looked me up and saw my TikTok. It's like, this girl's going to blame sex trafficking. I'm like...
The poor electrician's like, you're like, rapist. He's like, no, I just want to fix the air conditioner. Yeah, like so.
So we go to our shows and I get this food for you, chicken parm and the spicy pot. So I take it to you guys. I do my meet and greet and Meghan McCain came.
The sweetest.
So nice.
Yeah.
And with her friend. And so we got a photo with her and I was so excited. And so then that's it. We had a great time. We did the second show.
Great time.
We did not go out.
So fun.
Annie's friends, throughout this tour, Annie has friends or a relative in every single city.
Every city. It's on planes, too. It's like, my friend works for this airline.
My friend's a flight attendant.
My friend's coming to the show.
Yeah, every time at the end of the meet and greet, there'll be like 2 other girls, and she's like, these are my sorority sisters, or this is my actual sister, or this is my grandma, or I want you to meet my parents.
The grandma came down. What city was that?
That was Seattle. Portland, yeah.
I was sitting in the lobby of the hotel, and this crazy old woman sits down next to me. And like, hey, what's going on? I didn't know it was her grandma.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's this crazy old broad?
She's
and then I know she was
she's not even old. She's
she was great. Yeah. But I didn't know who she was. She just sits down, starts chatting, and 10 minutes in, she finally tells me she's Annie. I was like, so I got it now. And then I said, I wish you would have said that right up front.
Yeah, so then Annie's grandmother drove us at home back to the hotel after that show and brought us into our room and gave us glasses of wine.
Yeah.
These friends from college, they drove us from the Kennedy Center back to the hotel. And then Annie came in, we packed up my stuff, and then I got another Uber to then take me to the Watergate because I'm like, I'm not staying here.
I know. I mean,
because it was, and Annie came in the room. How hot was it, Annie? It was hot. It was like 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Of course, they've charged me. So now I'm going to have to fight with them about that.
Yeah.
Because it's like the principle of the thing. I don't even want to deal with it.
That's why you sent Peter in to take care of that, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to deal with that either. Anyway, it was that I went with my cute friend, Gina, my sorority sister. We had a very delicious lunch.
Yeah.
And I flew home, and I watched Sideways on the plane.
Sideways? The old Sideways? Like
the old Sideways. It's the best movie ever, you guys. If you have not seen the movie Sideways.
I was just up there
I was thinking,
the week before.
Like people Annie's age have not seen it.
No.
And it's like what made me fall in love with like smaller independent films.
Yeah.
It's the funniest, such a good movie if you've not seen it.
Yeah. It's a great, it's good on a lot of levels.
And I first started watching Reality Bites.
Oh. That one I don't know if it holds up anymore.
It didn't. I halfway like a third in, I'm like, I'm not really into it. But it was Winona Ryder and Ethan Hawke and Ben Stiller
and Janine Garofalo.
Yes, but it was kind of crazy to see because it was like my age, right? And the way they were like just starting to do reality TV, and so the girl was trying to like get a reality TV show, and
that was definitely a moment in time. Reality Bites. I don't think that would. But Sideways holds
I don't
up.
think I don't think Annie would enjoy Reality Bites.
No.
I think that would feel very like old.
But Sideways, I was just in Los Olivos where it kind of happens.
I know, that's what I was thinking about it. And that makes me want to go. Like,
oh, you have?
Yeah.
I mean, it is Heather McDonald. Every woman is like, I was walking down the street and people were like, Frangiola, Frangiola. Like, it's all Juicy. It's like Juicy Scoop Central. Up
Okay,
there.
so listen, Juicy Scoopers. That is a place I would like to do a show. I would do a live Juicy Scoop there, make a cute weekend out of it, somewhere in that Santa Barbara, how do you say it?
Los Olivos.
Any situation like that, let me know what
Okay.
you guys are thinking.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some topics. The Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
If we thought we'd get an angry fan. Well, she is going on tour, hasn't been on tour since 2018.
Yeah.
Has already a huge hit album. And the way it worked with Ticketmaster, if you were like a proven fan or something, then you would wait in this like queue on the computer to buy your ticket. But a lot of people didn't get them.
Right.
And then those people, like this one girl said, I don't care. Then she went to the StubHub and spent $5,500, and some of the StubHub tickets went up to $30,000 a ticket.
I saw that.
Now Taylor had set the prices for $49 to $400. She had set that, but this I don't really understand how Ticketmaster fucked up or screwed up. She's done a long post apologizing. My fans mean the most to me. I don't know how they were supposed to have general admission tickets and Ticketmaster's like, we're not doing it at all. Now Ticketmaster's being investigated by the authorities. I'm super confused, but the point is she's very, very popular. Her tickets went slightly faster than my live Juicy Scoop tour
Well,
ticket.
this had happened right before the Taylor Swift thing with Bruce Springsteen. Same thing happened. Bruce Springsteen announced a tour, and same deal happened. Everybody went to buy the tickets, and and Ticketmaster got in trouble for that one. So Ticketmaster, I think at this point, somebody needs to do what Ubers and Lyfts did to like taxis to Ticketmaster.
Oh.
There needs to be somebody else.
More competition.
There's not enough competition. The ticketing system is a nightmare, and somebody else needs to come in and make it a simpler, whether it be, I don't know, whoever's in charge of this kind of stuff, make it simpler, because that's what happened. There's fees, and it's just weird.
Well, maybe Taylor Swift will start her own thing.
I don't know why nobody has it. Like, there's all these Metallica and Pearl Jam. There's been a lot of people have fought this and have been forever.
Right, because then there's like always that extra fee and everything. And they're like, hey, like, this is the price.
Right.
And very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like when Louis C.K. was the first to be like, I'm going to film my own special.
Right.
And everyone can watch it for $5. He was like the first one to kind of do that.
And it's actually $5. It's not $5 and 10,000 other little add-ons. You're right.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But the other thing, which I find weird, that everyone loves Taylor Swift, but I feel like she hasn't toured since 2018. I'm like, yeah, that's 2 years. Like, that's not that long. I know, but
also there was
4
COVID.
years. That's a tour.
And then three of those years were COVID. So that's not that weird.
So, I know. People are like freaking out, like she hasn't been on tour ever. I'm like, yeah, she just did it. Because I remember she was supposed to open here, this our new football stadium, and it was COVID. So she had to kind of cancel that tour. So it's not like it's been that long she's been on tour.
All I want to say is you and I just complained about when we get some people that are sad or my meet and greets are sold out and I have to hear the sad crying stories, which is why I always say, you guys, this is the day, it's going on sale, buy it. Can you imagine what her weekend was like? Where she's like,
God.
I'm not trying to gouge anybody. Like, that wasn't my intention. And then people were saying, no, some people were mad at her because they said there's something that she could have done to opt out of this gouging price. I don't understand. I don't understand it.
I don't know all the details either. But what I had heard was people were mad that she wasn't saying anything. She wasn't making any statements. Yeah, and then she eventually did. But that's the same thing that happened to Bruce Springsteen. And Bruce Springsteen just came out. Her statement was actually really good. Mm-hmm. Bruce Springsteen's like, I'm old. I don't know what this stuff is. So.
Well, Annie got tickets.
I know. Annie's got friends everywhere. She probably knows Taylor Swift's guitar player.
She had 5 friends waiting in 5 different queues all over the city. And whoever got there first.
She's got to travel to like Dallas or something, right? Yeah.
Oh, good for you. Can't wait to hear about it. This was just a photo of Machine Gun Kelly's weird outfit. This was the American Music Awards, and he It's like it looks like you had one of those
Pinhead,
dolls where you put the little
yeah.
pins in it.
Pincushion.
Yeah, who cares? Did you see Carrie Underwood's outfit though?
Where at? What is this? An American
I don't know
Music
why
Awards?
I don't have it here. I thought I did. She looked. I mean, she
Was
has
this recent?
great.
Was
She has
there an
great
award show?
legs.
Yeah.
But in this one photo that she wore last night, I feel like she's getting a little too muscular.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And again,
Oh.
we're just talking about it. Like,
Yeah.
I always thought she had the greatest legs, and now I feel like they're a little too, almost like she looks like one of those people that would go and like pose.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
those weightlifters who
Which
pose in-
nothing wrong with that. It's just like very muscular.
Oh. Oh, but that's
That's a great leg, but I'm saying it's more muscular than I remember seeing in the past.
I think she's flexing that. But yeah, that's a muscular leg.
But look at her arms and stuff. Like I think she's very into weightlifting, which is fine.
Yeah, she looks good.
There's a crazy documentary. Did you see Killer Sally or something?
Did I tell you I ran into Sarah Colonna in the airport yesterday?
Yes.
I don't know.
Wait, what does that have to do with Killer
Because
Sally?
she told me, she goes, God, are you watching Killer Sally? That was the first thing she said to me.
So Killer Sally is on Netflix, and this happened like 30 years ago or 20, 25 years ago. And this woman was in the military, and she fell in love with this guy who was also in the military. And they both got into doing the contest where you flex all your muscles. And
You mean
she-
like a bodybuilding contest?
like a body, but it's more. There's bodybuilding where you lift the weight.
No,
and
no.
this is just the flex, Mr. All American
Yeah, like
or
they're
whatever.
in like a...
Yeah,
like a-
yeah, where you do that thing.
Yeah.
And so she started doing it, he started doing it, and the kids are there. And she did end up killing him. So she's still in prison.
Right.
And they're going through it about like what happened. Was she defending herself or did she kill him on purpose? And her two kids, which were his stepkids, they tell their story of how the parents started doing steroids. And in order for her to supplement, because it costs so much to feed the husband, he had to eat so much food
Yeah.
and everything, so that she started a side business like way before OnlyFans or webcamming, where she would put like ads in the paper if a guy wanted to be wrestled by her,
Oh.
because for some guys that's a real turn on to have a girl that has big strong thighs like that. And they
Like
kind
throw
of
'em around?
they like their head will get between their thighs in the
Oh.
wrestling. That's the
And then just squeeze it?
they just squeeze it. They like to be wrestled. And then this other guy goes, I'll film you wrestling these guys. And then people will also be able to buy the videotape. So you'll make money on the private sessions as well as guys that are willing to be filmed.
Wow.
And they were all like VHS tapes.
Yeah.
And so the guy would be like copying them off and she'd be selling them all to
Huh.
support this husband who, didn't do that well in the thing. So he was like obsessed that he wasn't doing that well.
So
But
just-
then
they
he
were
was
like
taking
competitive bodybuilders.
Yes, but
Yeah.
then he was taking the steroids, and it cost so much. He had to eat 20 pounds of protein a day
Yeah,
to like
a
keep
lot
them.
of chicken breast.
Yeah,
Right.
and but I haven't finished watching it. But she has those kind of thighs.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. I don't know when.
Remember when her face got destroyed because she, like
she
you said,
fell?
and you're like, what did she do? Fall in a pillow?
Because remember she exposed the face
Well,
on
first
like
she was
a,
like, I'm gonna come out, and then she's like, I'm not ready for the world to see me because I'm still
Yeah.
recovering from my horrific fall.
Uh-huh.
And then it's literally like the tiniest little scratch that can be
I know.
covered by makeup is the scar
we
on her
thought
face.
it was going to be like when the Joker revealed
Yeah.
his face for the first time. Like, oh my God! But it was sick. Oh, she's still exactly the same person she was before the fall.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. Is this the American Music Awards? Was this
That was like
night?
last night.
Like these
Remember
award
when
shows
we had-
just keep coming.
Remember when we were at Chelsea lately and we'd have to like watch it at home and then come in and write like 1,000 jokes on it. And it's so nice to know that I don't have to watch it. And I don't care.
I remember when they used to announce the cast of Dancing with the Stars. Whatever, 6 months. Every 6 months they used to do it. And Kirkman used to turn to me and go, if you would tell her that they announced the new cast of Dancing with the Stars, I will kill you. And I'm not going to say it. And then, we get to the point where there's nothing else. Like, There is the Dancing with the Stars cast. And then, of course, we have to write 10 jokes about this person, this person.
Yes,
yeah,
right.
This person. Yeah.
Yes, but Kelly Rowland, I guess, was announcing that Chris Brown won an award, but she was accepting the award for him. But just hearing his name, being that people still remember when he beat up Rihanna.
Yeah.
She had to be like, "Whoa, stop! Stop booing. I'm accepting this award on his behalf."
Well, I think that might not be what happened. I don't know if you
tell
heard. There was supposed to be a performance that they canceled last minute. That's probably people were booing. There was supposed to be an American Music Awards performance of Chris Brown doing a tribute to Michael Jackson. And
what a doozy!
Exactly. So last minute, American Music Awards canceled the performance, and everyone was wondering why.
Oh.
So I think that's why they were booing. People were mad that they canceled his performance, his tribute to Michael Jackson.
Oh, you know who would love that? That Kathy Hilton. She always likes Michael Jackson music.
Well, it is funny to me that, people were asking, like, why'd they cancel that performance? Well, first of all, how'd that performance even get on the bill?
I know.
Like, wait, you'd have Chris Brown do Michael Jackson? Like, just let you... We're
going to have an abuser, then do someone who's been accused and been on trial for being a pedophile.
Yeah.
Like...
I know. Let's just do something else. Can we do something else?
So I guess that's why
wouldn't
someone...
that make life easy?
Yeah, and someone's
so
like,
that's why
I need a chance to... Like, who's in charge that literally like an hour before someone's like, wait a minute. Like, no one... I always think that there's all these people...
Yeah.
And all these decisions being made, and nobody brought up that this might be a problematic situation.
Could you imagine? Like, we've been in television. You know how many eyes it has to go through.
Right.
Then nobody's like... You think that we should do this? There's 1,000 other tributes we could do to other people and have other people sing them.
Yeah.
Like, Jerry Lee Lewis just died. Well, he married his cousin. So, you know what? Maybe there isn't. Fuck it.
Maybe there isn't. Okay.
The other one that I found weird, I don't know if you talked about it on this, which also reminded me these things that, how many channels these things have to go through.
Yeah.
Did you see that weird question on Jeopardy?
Oh, about
Alligator.
Gabby.
Yeah.
About Gabby Pepito. So the question was about alligators.
The answer was alligator.
But it was like this.
Brian Laundrie.
Yeah, this. Yeah,
took his last breath or something in a swamp surrounded by these.
Yes.
And it was like, what an alligator. So everyone was like, what? That's the way you got to alligator?
Right.
Is to bring up a very recent murder and
suicide.
The guy wound up committing suicide.
Of two young people.
So weird. Like, cause Jeopardy,
they got a lot of shit for that.
I know Jeopardy's just kind of like not like that at all, but it was a very strange way to get there. I'm like, who missed that one?
And also, it's like as the host, because it's what's her name, Mayim?
Yeah, Mayim Bialik.
Yeah, she's the host. I mean, you know, she's probably doing so many a day. She probably doesn't read them all.
I know.
She's probably like, okay,
and that was
good.
a celebrity one too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just another way to get to alligator.
Yeah.
What is the animal that you say when you're going to see them later? Alligator. See you later, alligator. That's a much easier
This animal often gets mixed up with another similar animal named a crocodile.
Yeah.
I still don't know the difference between an alligator and a crocodile. And you know what? I don't need anyone to explain
25
it.
people are going to explain it.
I don't need someone to explain it.
Yeah.
I'm going to I think they're the exact same things.
Yeah, they're very similar.
I know they come from different places of the earth or something, or one looks a little different than the other.
One is a Dundee crocodile, like Australia's crocodile Dundee.
So crocodiles are not in America?
Alligator. No, I don't know. But alligators are down in Florida. I have no idea. I know there's more to it than that, but we sound, we don't need to know.
We don't. I don't.
The experts
you know what? I
out
really
there.
don't need to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Elon Musk at Twitter. So the way I'm understanding what's going on is he said, you got to commit to working like some, not just, okay, people went from working 4 hours a week because I saw a TikTok that's going around where this person's like, here's a day in the life of being a tech person that works for Twitter, and this perfect, easiest life, and this is where I get my coffee, and this is where I get my free food,
right.
And now I'm going to play a little ping pong, and I only
Yeah.
come in 1 day a week for an hour, and then I can get free red wine. And it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have done this, because maybe
Right.
this made Elon aware of how many people are not working, and other people bragging that they only work 4 hours a week doing this. So he's like, everyone has to come in, no more working from home.
Right.
You can either change the way you're working and show up, or you'll get 3 months of severance pay. You decide. So a lot of people were like, I'm out. I'll just take the severance pay.
Right.
And anyway, Twitter's running. I mean, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing with tech. It's like I always say, like he came in and was like, well, these aren't, I know this is going to be like the nurse thing.
Yes.
I know there are real jobs, but you know what I mean? Like you're not actually making something. At the end of the day, you don't start on a conveyor belt here, and at the end of the day, you got a fucking table. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like there's no tangible thing when it's done. So a lot of the jobs are kind of fake, for lack of a better term.
Right.
So I think he walked in and was like, this is all fake. Like these are fake jobs.
Right. Or you get in the job and your supervisor isn't really checking up.
Right.
And there really isn't something that you need to do that's worth checking. And so
Yeah.
I think in the last 3 years, a lot of people really made out quite well. They didn't have to live in San Francisco anymore. They
Right.
bought houses in Lake Tahoe and got the better tax break and got the more beautiful place.
Right.
And got to work from home.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
now
yeah.
they're like, yeah, well, 7,000 people or whatever.
Yeah.
And the Twitter's still going up, because basically
Yeah.
people write their own thing and then
It's
they post
Twitter.
it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's.
So I'm like, well, what were they doing? Were they just like being the ones to shadow ban or alert? I don't know.
Listen, you start getting
Again,
into tech. I
they're
don't
gonna
know
yell at
anything.
me.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
whatever. So
it-
some people are like, is he the worst boss in the world, or is he extremely knows how to make a company more efficient, or probably a little both?
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's one of those things where I don't understand why this guy would even take this on. Like, if you feel like it's.
Well, they're saying, now he's realizing he's getting rid of so many people because he did overpay for it.
Yeah. Right.
So, anyway,
Well, yeah.
Elizabeth Holmes, speaking of tech, she created a fake thing, and this is Elizabeth Holmes with one drop. If you could save your uncle's life with one drop of blood, and she got 11 years in prison.
Yeah.
She found another rich guy, her partner, who was featured in the series, which was really good. The series was really well
Right.
done. He was convicted as well, but she tried to blame everything on him when they're clearly like in it together.
Yeah.
When the machine never worked, and she lied and lied and lied about it, lied to the investors, but also people were still going and getting their blood with this drop, and then they would send it to a regular place. It was the actual machine that's supposed to tell you every disease that you're tested for with one drop of blood, just never worked. So she met some rich Northern California hotel heir, married him, and is pregnant with his child. So they're going to let her have the child.
Yeah.
But in 6 months, she's going to have to turn herself in to start her 11-year sentence.
11 years is, I mean,
Very
listen,
long.
Long time for just ripping off some rich people. I mean,
Well, I think that's why people thought maybe they weren't sympathetic, because there was so many rich investment men that kind of were impressed by her because she was a female, but also it was like a checked box, like I'm investing in a female entrepreneur.
Right.
But as female entrepreneurs, it's like finally we get this woman, and she's fucking a fraud. Like we're always like, oh, the world would be so much better if it was run by women.
Right.
And then that other documentary I talked about this orgasm meditation.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
the Vow documentary was
Right.
Keith Rainier was part of it, but it was women that recruited.
Right.
Ghislaine Maxwell recruited women. Like women are awful too. Women can be fucking awful. And if you put certain women in power,
Right.
there will be corruption and there will be abuse
Yeah.
by women to women
Right.
as well. It's not
Right.
like we're
But look at you, successful podcaster. You got no corruption behind. You're not ripping anyone off.
I'm not ripping anyone off, but I'm just saying,
Except
sure.
me. Can't even get any water. I'm dying over now.
But I'm just saying, it's not like it won't exist. You put certain people in power, and it's based on the person. It's not necessarily the gender that they will abuse. And the fact that she was just so obsessed with, being this person, and even when she knew it wasn't working, she had so many opportunities to be like, okay, wait, stop, this isn't working, and she continued the fraud. That's why she got.
Well, 11. So is there a chance they could lower one of those?
No, this is
11 and a half years, or you're for good behavior, you're out in a year.
No, all that would have happened if she would have pled and tried to do it before.
Oh, okay.
And now I'm not aware, but the way it normally works is like, okay, I'm guilty, I'm going to save myself,
right?
And maybe they'll give me half the time. And then when you say no and you go to trial, like, even with the, like with Felicity Huffman from the college thing, right away she's like, I'm guilty, and then she did a little bit of time.
Oh.
But then Massimo and Lori Loughlin, they went through the trial situation and they got a little more time, but now they're all fine.
Everybody's
good.
But
people that might have been like right off the bat, I'm guilty, let me just do my 5 months right now, let's just like knock it out, like I did this,
right? Then
you get less time because they don't want to spend the money on the trial. Chris, I'm gonna let you get some water.
Thank you.
I'm gonna do my Housewives stuff, fill people in on that, and then we are going to talk more, and you're going to get a real fun Thursday Thanksgiving episode that Chris and I are going to do.
Oh.
Before we just end this, Chris, do you have any shows that you'd like to tell people to come see you at?
I got Mobile, Alabama, New Orleans, Charlotte, and Atlanta, and San Francisco coming up in the next week.
Exciting.
So Frangiola.fun has everything. That's where I'm coming next. Christmas fun shows.
Christmas fun. Okay. And now for even more juice, but just with me alone. Here we go. Hello, and welcome back to Juicy Scoop. I wanted to cover the latest on the Erika Jane, what is happening. Of course, I talked about it last week, where a lot of people were like, I can't believe you have any sympathy for Erika. And I'm like, I don't, but it's being revealed that there's more corrupt people that were at the top that were also taking advantage of the law firm's ability to bring in all this money of their victims once they've won and not give it to them. I talked about the one guy that got arrested. He was the CFO of Girardi and Keese, and they said he has a $10 million scam going. He's been arrested. He had a sugar baby that Ron Richards posted about and then took it down on Twitter. But she was getting $20,000 a month, according to this now deleted tweet. There were homes that he purchased. So, where does that leave everybody that got things, whether it was donations or earrings, from the checks that came out of Girardi and Keese? That's where it happens. Well, they did take the earrings from Erika, and they are auctioning them off. They are 6 carats each. These huge, I did not realize they were that big. And she had said at one point they were worth $1.4 million. We know they were purchased for $750,000 from the funds from Girardi and Keese. They do now have them, and they are starting the auction much lower at like between $250,000 and $300,000. Doesn't mean that they won't go for a lot more than that. Of course, you always start something lower. So we'll see. But I noticed, I thought this was really weird. The earrings are like stunning. So they're these big square diamonds, but then they kind of sit in like a little crown of diamonds, and it says Girardi. Wait, is that the brand of jewelry, or is that really just the Girardi name? Now I'm wondering if there is a brand of jewelry also known that also says Girardi, or did she actually get Girardi engraved in the bottom of the earring? Because I do think that is so weird.
I think she got it engraved.
Okay. That's what I thought over the weekend, but then I was like, wait a minute. Anyway, the way it looks, I feel like I've seen that name for a brand before.
I'm not finding anything besides Janice Girardi.
Jewelry? Okay, so I do think she put her name in it, or he did when he presented it to her. Anyway, they can be yours. You can get in on that auction. Now, this is from Radar Online, and it was discovered that Tom Girardi paid for a $1.2 million home, which is now owned by an LA FBI head. What happened here was Tom had a secretary named Michelle back in the 70s, or even a little earlier than that. And he bought her this home. A few years ago, she actually put her son, who's 54 now, on the title. So it's in his name now. And he's 54. The time would match up that while she was working for Tom Girardi, she gave birth to this child. And incidentally, they resemble a lot of each other, Tom Girardi and this FBI head. But there's been no DNA testing or anything like that. It's just a kind of an interesting coincidence of two people looking a lot like each other and a timeline matching up. And he has since recused himself from any kind of investigation or any kind of thing that he might have been involved in with investigating Tom Girardi. So now he's no longer part of it. But he was part of it up until last week, I assume. It's so much to cover. I know that I don't do it perfectly, but I wanted to just get you guys up to date that is crazy. But Tom would buy people things and buy people's houses. But was that house purchased with funds? And was there, I know the victims went all the way back, like some to the 90s, but it may not have even we might not have records for that. So, but this house that this guy is on the title of was purchased at one time by Tom Girardi. Very, very juicy. Real Housewives of Potomac. Interestingly, because I was just there, but in this episode, the girls all go to Miami for the weekend, and an explosive physical fight happens. And it is between Wendy, who is the professor with the 12 degrees from Johns Hopkins University, and she is married and she's Nigerian. And she had met with Cynthia Bailey from Real Housewives of Atlantic's second husband, Peter, who owns the Bar Ones. Remember, Nene used to call him Papa Smurf because he had like this white beard. Anyway, he makes an appearance on the show, and she says, along with being a professor and launching a candle line, which is competing with Karen's candle line, I want to also open a Nigerian nightclub that in the afternoon would like read to small children and could be like a kid's library. I'm serious. He's like, no, but I'm down to make a Nigerian restaurant with you. It's going to cost, I think he said like $300,000 for you to invest. She goes and talks to her husband about it. The husband's like, well, I'm not sure. So now they go to Miami, and Peter is really good friends with Mia, who is relatively new on the show. She's been on for 2 years. And she and her husband run all these chiropractic centers. Yet I've seen no, like, you know how I get hot for like watching chiropractic videos? They're called The Joint. They're like a massage envy for chiropractic people. Anyway, she and her husband own a bunch of them, but we don't get to see any good like cracking videos. Anyway, she and her husband Gordon are really good friends with Peter, which is interesting because I'm like, I wonder if Peter helped her get on Real Housewives of Potomac since he was on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So she goes, we're going to go to your restaurant, Bar One. So he has a restaurant in Miami on the water. But they never tell Wendy, the professor, that they're going there. And then she's like, oh, I didn't know we were going to Peter's place. So they have their food, which looks really good, and they're like talking and everything. And it's Mia, who's friends with Peter, the Grand Dame Karen, who has her own 4-wick candle line and perfume, and then Wendy, the professor turned Nigerian nightclub entrepreneur possible person, okay? And Peter comes over and he's like, hey, you didn't let me know that you were coming. And she's like, oh, okay. And he tells Wendy he tells Mia, I'm a little annoyed with Wendy because I sent her over a proposal to start doing this Nigerian nightclub in Baltimore, and I just haven't heard back from her yet. So then Mia comes back to the table, and she's going to do her job. She's going to start a fight as they're sitting out there. And she's like, Wendy, you never got back to Peter, and you didn't let Peter know that you were coming. And Wendy is like, why do I have to let him know that I'm coming? Like, he's not my husband. Yeah, we have a business thing going. She's like, yeah, but you didn't even respond that you got the proposal. She's like, well, I'm just like looking at it. And then it starts getting really heated. And Wendy goes, he's not my husband. Like, I don't know how you and your husband deal with talking to other men. And she basically says, what are you? Mia, are you fucking Peter? And she's like, Peter's like my brother. And she throws this drink at Wendy's face. And all I could think about is they were all ordering these really sweet drinks, like strawberry Hennessy and a lychee martini. And I'm like, if I had that thrown in my face, it'd be so sticky and gross. Like, it clearly was not water. At least that's how it appeared on TV. But she doesn't miss a beat, Wendy. She's like, gets up. So now they start fighting. It starts getting really bad. Security comes and is like separating them. Everyone else at the restaurant is just like filming, and Robin is sitting back filming. And that was pretty funny. I will say the editors of Potomac are pretty fun. And so are the editors of all the Housewives shows. Like, they're definitely like adding some elements, because otherwise, I don't know, I think people are getting a little bored with us. So, but this is like physically, this fight went on forever. They were both trying to go at each other. And Wendy's like, I don't know how you work with your husband, but my husband and I do not screw other men and women, like saying they're like swingers and stuff. And then she said, you're gonna have a crater face, which is like so mean. She said that to Mia. And she's like, I'm a professor. I have 4 degrees. I'm a professor. She keeps saying that. So they separate them. Now Mia says she might go home. We don't know if she's going to stay in Miami or not. She broke 3 nails, which is very so she calls her husband and she's like, look at my nails. And they're like, let us get you some Band-Aids. And Wendy's, and nobody likes Wendy. So Wendy's like, you didn't like when Candace, who's not there, got in that physical fight with Monique, and then Monique got off the show. Why are you even sympathizing with Mia? Because by Mia throwing the drink, that means she's violent. And they're just like, because we don't like you. Like, you're fucking annoying. All you do is talk about your millions of degrees. You want to do a candle. You want to do candles, and you want to open a Nigerian nightclub that's a library for kid in the days. It's like, it's so. The part of the show that I like the best is it ends to be continued next week. And then they have this black screen with the writing on it that says, Johns Hopkins University is in no way involved with the Real Housewives of Potomac. And yeah, I would not be surprised if she got the boot, because it's like behavior. If universities are not going to let kids have scholarships because they misbehave on social media and embarrass the university, which I agree with, I don't think that a university honestly should keep her employed. It's embarrassing, and it doesn't show the decorum of what a professor should have. She's not an example to her students. So I'm kind of curious to see, now that this episode is aired, that's what I found is juicy. What is going to happen? Because this girl, was a political correspondent. She does have all these degrees, yet she goes on this show and she instantly is like, screw being a professor. She probably wants to be fired. She got all this plastic surgery. She's like, I want to do all these other weird businesses because I want to just be an influencer. Because, yeah, it's probably a lot more fun than being a professor and grading, big, long papers of your students. So we'll see what happens with Johns Hopkins. Thought that was juicy. Okay, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It was a pretty boring episode, and a lot of people are saying that. But I'll just take you through the juice. Jen Shaw is going to be sentenced on December 15th. We know that now. Of course, she's looking at 9 years. And so she was there. And then we continued with this lame storyline of starting a choir for ex-Mormons. And this guy is he is gay. I mean, he's obviously gay, and he says he's gay, so I don't think I'm saying anything wrong. Anyway, he's going to run the choir, and he's got experience in it. So there's like some random people that are there, along with Heather and Whitney and Lisa Barlow, who people really like her singing. And she's singing on Watch What Happens Live, and she's saying Away in the Manger. And she's like, away in a manger, no crib for his head, the little Lord Jesus. It definitely like had a weird tune to it, but she does have a pretty like smoothing, like put you to sleep voice. So she's part of the choir, and it just feels like the lamest, fakest storyline. Like I just don't think we've ever seen it before. So maybe it's not that bad because it's new. These two guys are so happy. They were just guys living their life, wanting to sing, and now they are on the Bravo network as part of Heather Gay's choir. So good for them. Then we go over to Meredith, and Meredith is she took 3 people to cut a lemon. She's with her sister and her nephew. And I zoomed in and took a photo of this because literally 3 hands are cutting a lemon. I don't know if she thinks she's Kendall Jenner trying to go viral who couldn't cut a cucumber, but pretty disturbing. And then Jen Shah, she goes to this like public pool with one of the newer cast members, and they're like, everybody, we're going to San Diego. We're going to go to like, she does not have a care in the world like that but at this point, as we're watching it, she has not said that she was guilty. She still says she's innocent. She still says, I'm going to go through this trial. So at this point, she's like, oh, I'll just have some fun and be on the show. Now, Andy Cohen has said, since she is, since she's convicted, because she admitted to it, hasn't been sentenced yet, he's like, there is a chance she'd get no time, but I highly doubt it. So in answering, will she be on the show or will she continue with the show? He's like, no, I think she's going to go away for at least a little while. So she's not going to let that stop her fun. She's wearing like a Versace one piece and big high heels, and they're going to go to San Diego. And Whitney and Heather are still in a fight and not really getting along and having weirdness because I don't even know, but they got in a horrible fight when they all had to wear this like lingerie. Which is so weird to think. I'm so sick of reality shows. You know what? I go back and forth because I get it. You know, you're like, what can we do to like spice up this scene? We'll all wear lingerie. Or coming up, they're all going to be Marilyn Monroe when they're in San Diego. Like everybody is going to bring a blonde wig and dress up like Marilyn Monroe. But they're not like good wigs. And it just looks pathetic and weird. And like these people shouldn't be that blonde, and they get in a fight there. And then Heather has this big black eye, and they're like, this whole season, they were like, how did she get that black eye? We don't know. And I think that I think it's the choir director. I think he swung his big dick around when she didn't hit the high note. That's what I think we're going to find out. I hope that's what happens. I hope it's not just that the door hit her, like she was like accidentally hit her face with the door, like opened it the wrong way or something, but probably because we never found out what happened to Whitney's childhood. It's like nothing is happening in the show. It's pretty dull. Oh, but this is happening. They also said that Lisa did a Lisa crowdfunded for her tequila business for $25K, and there is an SEC filing. Clearly not doing well if you're crowdfunding for $25,000 for your business. More Lisa BS. We'll send you the filing so you have it. Somebody sent this DM to one of the other cast members, and the show took a photo of it and are putting it on the show. I mean, again, I don't know. I can't believe people do these shows. Anybody that has a business or a job that goes on this show should just be ready to toss it. Whitney's husband lost his job. This doesn't look good for her. They're saying that she was giving blowjobs to get her Vita tequila in restaurants, and that she was doing blowjobs to get tickets to go to the basketball games. And it's just like, I think now at this point, people are just going on the show and they're like, let's just start rumors about how, I don't know, your husband's having an affair, and we'll just make that a whole storyline because that's what's happening at Potomac. they're saying, Candace's husband is flirting with everybody and trying to get women to go to his restaurant. Oh, but someone did let me know in Juicy Scoop Obsessed that before my show in DC, they went to the rooftop bar that Chris was in charge of, and they said he no longer works there and he left 2 months ago. But they never see any of the Potomac women there. And that's why I think he DM'd Ashley and was like, you should have come here, because they probably gave him the job thinking that he would bring the Potomac Housewives and maybe some other celebrities and get the place popping. And he never did. And now he's no longer there. But he may have left on his own. I don't know why he left. But anyway, he doesn't work there anymore. So I thought that was pretty juicy. Thank you. Sisterwives. Oh. So Christine left. She left. And McKelty and Tony, my daughter and son-in-law, came to help me move. And Janelle's son helped me too. And I didn't really want to say goodbye to anybody, but McKelty thought that I should say goodbye to Robin and her kids. So again, another scene outside because they're still so freaked out about COVID. And it's Cody and Robin and her 2 older daughters from her previous marriage, and Cody and her 2 kids. And the youngest kid they have is 6, who I just saw a photo of her in the back of their car someone sent me. And they think that she has a pacifier and she's 6 years old and she's in a car seat, which I think you have to be in a car seat when you're 6. I don't know. But it was an article. People are like, I wonder if she's doing this thing called like infantiling your child. And it's something that happens in polygamous marriages, which I thought was kind of interesting, where she is now 44. She's not able to have any more kids, most likely, Robin. And the youngest is 6. And what happens in these marriages is once you can no longer have kids is usually when they bring in another wife to continue to have more kids. That is what happened with Mary. Mary could only have 1 kid. Then we had Janelle and Christine, both had like 6 each, I think. And then Robin came and had 2 more. And so I think sometimes people think maybe that's like trying to keep this kid to seem like a baby, because that's always what happened during the years with Cody. This past 2-3 years of COVID, he kept saying, I have little kids. I have to be with my little kids, which is Robin's kids. And that's why he neglected Janelle's kids and he neglected Christine and her kids. And Christine is leaving to Utah. So they have this awkward goodbye. And the little girl, the little 6-year-old is like, why are you and my daddy breaking up? Which is so weird because she's with her own mother. And she's like, we just aren't in love anymore, Ariel. I'm sorry. And she's like, go on dates. Why don't you go on more dates with him? So then everyone's like, well, clearly they're talking about it in front of her, where they were like, well, you should have gone on more dates, Christine. You should have gone on more. Cody should have gone on more dates with Christine. She's moving to Utah. We get to see her at her new place. She announced the other day she was filming. So I think they're definitely filming the show. I also heard that they still have not started to build on Coyote Pass, but the neighbors in the Coyote Pass, Cody has gone to them allegedly and been like, can you help me get some people to help build here? And we'll do a trade out and we'll feature like contractors and stuff to build here. They just don't have the money to build. And meanwhile, Janelle is still in that trailer and miserable. So it's pretty insane. Now, I told you about Mary's female empowerment weekend that cost anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000. So I went into her Instagram, and this is at her bed and breakfast at some small town in Utah. And here it is. She had it. She had it with these girls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 girls all went. And they all went bike riding and took some photos and said it was cold. But she said, we had the most incredible weekend with a group of some amazing humans. Real life retreats, mindfulness, and motion weekend was a huge success. Very, very weird. And I mean, I will die if one of these girls becomes a new wife of Cody. That's because so I have these photos. So if next season he sees anybody or she's like, I met a really amazing woman at one of my retreats that I think would just really fit in wonderfully with the family. Meanwhile, Mary just is still gushing about her best friend. She loves that best friend. She's like, when you find that special human and you just, just can look at each other and smile. It's sounding a lot like Real Housewives of OC Bronwyn's post about her last 6 girlfriends. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right, you guys, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoy your cooking. And we do have a new episode for you on Thanksgiving. It's going to be more hilarious conversation with the hilarious Chris Frangiola. And I saved it so that you could have something fun to listen to while you make your garlic mashed potatoes in your crock pot from Costco.